Over the years, both through coaching and traveling, I guess, doing different sports programs in different countries around the world where I've taken teams or groups of people, I just began discovering that there are some pretty amazing people that live locally and serve locally and are working for organizations that, have been on the ground trying to do great things in a community or, reaching a certain group of people. And, when you meet these people and you realize that they love their community, they love their neighborhoods, they love the families in those neighborhoods, just began realizing that there was a missing component, or often there was a missing piece to what they were doing. And I just discovered that sport could come alongside what they were doing and create a very powerful maybe vehicle or a powerful medium to build bridges in the neighborhood, to serve the needs of people, and to ultimately reach lots of kids. I've met kids all over the world that now are getting life-changing opportunities because they play on a team or they have a coach that's building into their lives. Just recently I was in Malawi and we were doing the soccer clinic, helping train coaches who are really just village volunteers, and they have a heart to love their kids and give these kids an opportunity to play sport for the first time. And by playing sports and being part of a team, they get an opportunity to learn life skills, and they get an opportunity to have so many more opportunities that just bring hope. And on one particular day, we were running this soccer clinic, and there's about 100 boys and about 15, 20 coaches. And I'm getting really excited because we're just about to start the tournament, and one of the local coordinators comes up to me and goes, "Coach, you got to stop the clinic now." And I was a little bit taken back. I'm like, "Well, why?" And he said, "Well, because a lot of the teams actually, they walked over 10 kilometers to be at the clinic, and then they had to walk home before sundown." And it dawned on me, like, these are some unbelievable kids. Actually, a lot of them are really good. They don't have fields and they don't have the equipment, but they're so in love with the idea of playing sport and being on a team that they would actually walk 10 kilometers each way to participate in a clinic that would give them an opportunity to maybe be on a team that we're organizing in our partnership in Malawi. In our Edmonds project, we've got this program where we send a bunch of athletes every Wednesday and Saturday morning, largely to help run soccer clinics, or we call it an academy, but it's really just a place for kids to come and play sport. But it's so much more than that. They get loved by these volunteer coaches, these student athletes that want to make a difference through their sports skills, and they've got hearts to build into kids that maybe have a little less than what the average kid has here in Canada. Some of these kids are actually from war-torn countries, and have now landed in a small community here just not too far down the road in Burnaby. In Peru, where we're partnering with this one group called Communities for Life, they train adults on how to grow vegetables literally in the desert. But those adults have kids, and now the kids are coming to a soccer academy that are, having their lives invested into because we've trained coaches. And it's just a holistic picture of how the community can come together, and it doesn't do that any better by just being around sport. And so we're really excited about how sport is a tool or a vehicle with so much more in mind, and we're talking about lives and communities being transformed. We run this TeamUp challenge every summer, and a lot of athletes raise some funds, and we put all the funding towards helping initiate the opportunity for girls, both domestically and internationally, to be involved in organized sport. So this year we took some of the funds, and in Paraguay we ran the first girls overnight sports camp, largely a soccer camp, but they learned volleyball and they learned a few other fun multi-sport activities. At the final meal, just before the weekend was finishing, I sat next to these two girls, and through a translator, I began talking about how was their weekend and how'd they find out about the camp and what community they were from. And I discovered these two young girls were from a northern part of Paraguay, about 400 kilometers away from where the camp was hosted. They took a bus 400 kilometers with literally no money. And they got on a bus and at 4 a.m. landed in Asuncion, Paraguay, about 12 hours later. And somebody from our partner organization, De Por Vida, picked them up and brought them to the camp. And then at the end of the camp, they were gonna get back on a bus. And I said, "Well, why'd you come? It's so far." And they said, they just love sport. They wanna bring sport back to their community. They actually dream about one day starting a girls' soccer team in their neighborhood. They're from an indigenous community. And it just again dawned on me, like, there are so many opportunities. These kids will, get a chance one day to play in a sports tournament. They'll get a chance to have a coach. They'll actually get a chance to have sport become part of the narrative that maybe builds into their lives the hope and the self-esteem and the sense of belonging that they're looking for. That's just a few stories, but man, the impact that we can have is just a holistic picture of how the community can come together. And it doesn't do that any better by just being around sport. And so we're really excited about how sport is a tool or a vehicle with so much more in mind.